Alright everybody, welcome back to another Bleach Brave Souls video. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 to some characters that have fallen off in Bleach Brave Souls. Now this is the second video that we're doing according to the popularity poll that I did on the community post. And yeah, thank you very much to everybody who did participate in that there. But before we get into it, I just want to give a shout out to Zoro is Lost and as well as Savage Anime 87. Thank you very much for your comments, guys. If you want your own comment to get shouted out, make sure to go down below and leave a comment, and I will definitely shout you out in the next one. With that all being said, let's get into the list now. Okay, so the very first character we're going to be taking a look at, it is going to be the first version of Bruno, because yes, there are actually two of them. This one is the very first one that we did get, and this released on the 11th of October of 2021. And would you believe it, this guy has still never got a resurrection. He still is not resurrected, which is really crazy to think of. Now, he was at the prime of his game where characters were starting to receive double killers, as you see, because he does have a Soul Reaper and a Rancor killer, which are two very popular killers, and they're very good to have. And he's got a strong attack recharge time of 12% link, which is nothing too special over here. But when you go to his actual effects and attack buttons over here, as you can see, he's a ranged character. And honestly, built in, he does have a last-ditch survival, and he can dodge some Soul Reaper damage and whatnot. So he did have a lot of things that were going in his way. And obviously, he had all the bells and whistles of the time. He doesn't have Frenzy Plus 2. He was at a period where Frenzy Plus 1 was the maximum amount that you could get. And all in all, he was overall a very good character. When he did drop, he was actually one of the best characters that were around at the time. So obviously, where he does fail or where he falls short is that he doesn't have enough frenzy. If he does have at least Frenzy Plus 2, it would have been a little bit better. Or maybe if he had a little bit more Havoc or a little bit more Berserker, that would definitely bring up his numbers a tiny little bit. But now we're going in towards the resurrection territory. What could we expect his resurrection to look like? Firstly, if you want him to be even remotely like quote-unquote usable, I think you gotta slap a Frenzy Plus 2 on him at least with a Berserker of maybe 50%, I guess. But hey, this guy is definitely gonna need some help in terms of overall output on damage, right? Because his animations are really good, but in terms of damage, he's definitely gonna need more help. And the fact that he's actually not even resurrected and he released over 4 years ago is somewhat puzzling to me. But at his peak, he was a very, very good character, and sadly now he's just a relic of the past. And yeah, just one of some cool characters that released during that time period of the year. That's going to be it for Bruno. Let me know what you think about him. Let's move on to the second character. Alright, so the second character we're going to be taking a look at, it is going to be the artwork version of Ichigo. Now this came out on a special occasion, and this guy was actually released on Ichigo's birthday, but in 2021. So for those who don't know, July 15th is actually Ichigo's birthday, and this released in 2021. So a little bit over 4 years ago. But again, this character is also not resurrected, so it's not all bad, because a resurrection could definitely bring up his stocks. But in terms of how good he is right now, he's definitely not there where he needs to be. First of all, he does have two killers, Soul Reaper and no affiliation, which is pretty decent, I guess. He does have a slightly higher recharge time than Bruno, because he's at 14%. And if we take a look at his skills over here, we can see he's a melee character, and he does inflict weakening in all of his attacks over here. He does have more bells and whistles than the Bruno over there, which is pretty interesting to see. And overall, he's just a really cool character, but again, more or less the same problems as Bruno, whereas he was at a time period where Frenzy was only capped out at Frenzy Plus 1. Now we're at a stage where even Frenzy Plus 4 can be a possibility, and if you have Frenzy Plus 1, you're just not gonna cut it. You're not gonna complete any of the challenging quests and whatnot, and you're basically going to be a collector's item, and that's exactly what this Ichigo is right now. And again, granted, he still has his resurrection, so it's not too late for him to make a glow up or a comeback. So if they could just add Frenzy +2 on him and maybe give him a little bit more Berserker and maybe even add a Bombardment +1, which can take him to Bombardment +2, which might make him a really good option for some specific content over here, such as the Senkaimon or anything of the sort, right? Because he definitely needs his resurrection to come sooner rather than later. Overall, that's going to be my word on this Ichigo here. Overall, a really cool character. And I really remember him releasing not so long ago. It's crazy to think that it's already been a little bit over 4 years since this guy's release. Now, before we get into the next one, guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a like and comment down below a character that you haven't seen in the series before. And let me know, who do you think has fallen off the hardest? And by the way, side note, this series will be fueled by your likes, so maybe I would say, I don't know, 25 likes for the next episode. I would greatly appreciate it. With that all being said, let's move on to the third character. Alright, so the third character we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the Spirits Are Forever With You version of Uryu. Now, this guy was one of the most underwhelming characters in general in Bleach Brave Souls history. This could go on with the latest Uryu that we did get prior to the 1000 Year Blood War PvP version, which was released in 2020, I believe, when the anime made a return. But this guy could be in the same boat as him because they are very, very lackluster characters. Now, this guy, I don't know what they were going for, but let's go over his kit together. As you can see, he is a hollow killer with nothing special over there, and he does have a 12% to minus strong attack recharge time, which is, you know, pretty self-standard these days. But if we take a look at his kit, that's where the depressing news starts to happen. As you can see, nothing too crazy here. He's a ranged character, which is expected, with a weaken on all of his attacks, pretty good. He does have a few things that do help him out, but in terms of what he offers, he doesn't really do anything that good, honestly. He tries to be a damage dealer, which he's not really doing at all, because he only has devastation at 40 and strong attack damage at 20%, which is nothing compared to today's standards. And he's farming, quote-unquote farming aspect of this character. He only increases your speed link slot potions +5. That's it. Just 5 link slots, and that is it. It is absolutely wild what they were doing with this guy. I have no idea what they were thinking. The only thing that I would say is pretty good for him is that his bow looks really cool. The design of this character visually is really, really cool. He's got really, really cool. As you can see here, the yellow on the accent of his bow is actually really, really cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this guy. And again, this is the third character of the video whereby they have not got their resurrection yet. When are they going to get the resurrections? I am not too sure. This Uryu specifically released on the 31st of May on 2021. So again, another character which is roughly around 4 years old, and they have not got their resurrections at all. So yeah, we're not too sure when they're going to get the resurrection, because some characters get the resurrections way earlier, maybe 2-3 years into their life. But in terms of some of these characters that we went over in this list, they are more or less 4 years old and still don't have a resurrection, which is really crazy to think about. That is going to be it for Uryu, guys. Let me know what do you think about this guy. If he's one of your favorite Uryus, let me know why do you like him, because he brings absolutely nothing to the table. And whatever he does bring, it's pretty much lackluster. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if I had to bring the table in order for him to bring something there. It's crazy, right? Let's move on to the next one now. Alright, so the fourth character in this video, it is going to be one of the OGs of this game. It is going to be the full-bring Bankai version of Ichigo. Not the heart one, but the technique one, the OG one. Now, this guy actually released on the 31st of March of 2017, so little over a year into the game's lifespan. This guy dropped, and he was the start of the philosophy that we have today. Now, not literally, but his character blueprint is what we built upon, and now we're here today. Now let me show you. Now, because characters prior to him weren't really built in a specific way, you can build some characters in normal attack damage way, or you could build them in a SP way, or you could even build him a hybrid build, which is nowadays is crazy to think about, but that's where we were in 2017 to maybe around 2019. I would say you can get away with building characters in a hybrid build. But nowadays, it's either you're an SP unit or a normal attack damage unit and nothing in between. This guy was the first outright damage dealer in terms of strong attacks. Now let's check out his kit over here. As you can see, he's a holo killer, pretty nice, and he did get his resurrection in September of 2020 on the 27th, right? I know that was a bit weird. So he got his resurrection on the 27th of September in 2020. So little over maybe 3 years, then he got his resurrection, and some other characters on this list are going over 4 years and don't have a resurrection. But anyway, he was resurrected on the 27th of September in 2020, and he got his 2 soul traits over here. Really solid link over here. And other than that, he's honestly not really anything to brag about, because his range is what made him really good. Back in the day, he had a full screen strong attack 3, which is really good, and his strong attack 2 also has some really decent range. But anything special about him today? Unfortunately, there is nothing. He still has frenzy +1 and devastation at 40, and yeah, he doesn't even have bombardment, which is really sad to think about. Now this guy is a straight up collector's item. There's nothing you could do about that, but I occasionally love to use him just to take him out on a spin, see how he feels, see how he can deal with the current meta of today. And yeah, let's just say he doesn't really do that well, but oh boy, he's still really cool, and he's still really fun. And yeah, he's just an OG of the game, and that's why I really love him. And that's why I have to admit that he did fall off really bad, because at one point he was the best character in the entire game, and a little over a year to 2 years later, then he straight up just fell off and was downright unusable, because power creep is a thing. That is going to be it for this Ichigo, guys. Let me know, how do you feel about him? Let's move on to the final character of the video. Alright, so the final character of the video, it is going to be the power version of Masaki. Now, okay, hear me out. Once again, please hear me out. Now, she is a Guild Quest character. Now, she might be good in Guild Quest, okay? Again, she might be good in Guild Quest, but the overall consensus is that she is not where she needs to be. Now, again, if you disagree with me or if I'm incorrect, do let me know down in the comments, and I'll be glad to take back my opinion. But I'm just letting you know what the consensus is around the people that I've spoken with. Now, with that all being said, okay, let's go into her kit over here. As you can see, she did come in a period whereby the Killer Plus wasn't really a thing yet. So she does have a Espada, normal Espada killer, because she did release in 2024. That is last year. She did release on the 31st of May in 2024, and she released alongside the Ishin, right? Ichigo's father. If you know, you know. Anyway, let's see what she got here for her kit. As you can see here, her soul trait is status element spiritual pressure boost plus 40%. Now, a side note, let me know, what do you think about spiritual pressure boost? Okay, as a soul trait, do you like it? Do you think it's better? In my personal opinion, I don't know how I feel about it. I just prefer to get either recharge time or strong attack damage. I don't think I'm a big fan of spiritual pressure boost. But anyway, let's move on from that. Now, if we take a look at her actual kit and whatnot, she does have a protection soul bomb, which is pretty good in Guild Quest, and she does inflict paralysis on all of her attacks. And let's just see what she got here. She is a character with frenzy +2, but debilitated 5 seconds, which is pretty good. She is a bit of a support because she increases the power attribute Quincy damage to status element affected enemies. Wow, that was a mouthful. Yeah, she definitely gives a boost, but a very restrictive boost. So take that with a grain of salt. And also, she does have damage to paralyzed enemies at 40%, which is, I guess, pretty nice. And she does have poise and status element spiritual pressure boost at 120%. She's one of a few characters that goes beyond 100%. Now, other than that, I do see a lack of bombardment over here. I really think that bombardment is a very important thing to have. And overall, I don't know what about her is not good enough, or she seems lacking. But apparently she isn't really hitting the ground running in terms of her role. But in Guild Quest, I'm sure she does quite fine. I haven't really tested her out in Guild Quest, but overall the consensus is that she definitely is not where she needs to be. And Ishin, on the other hand, is actually really, really good, or at his prime at least, is really, really good. Would you guys consider him fallen off? You guys can let me know down below. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for Masaki over here. A bit of a controversial one, I know, but let me know what you think about her. And if you have her and you use her, let me know your honest opinions about this character. Let me know all of that there down below. And that there, guys, is all the characters that I believe have fallen off in Bleach Brave Souls. I really do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and as well as subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But again, guys, this series is fueled by your feedback and your likes. So maybe 25 to 30 likes and we'll come out with a part 3. So don't forget that. Thank you very much for sticking around till the end, guys. And I will see you all in the next one.